This is Abe Friedhanser from Awards Watch, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with S. Leo Shang and Jean Tsien about Island in Between. How are you both doing today?
Doing great. It's right before Chinese New Year, so I'm really excited. Happy
Yeah, thanks for
Chinese New Year.
having us, Abe. Yeah, happy year to the dragon.
Of course. So, this film is a very interesting subject. I'm curious about your initial interest in it and also how difficult it was to get it made as a film.
I think Jean and I have both been wanting to tell uh, Taiwanese stories for the international audience for a long time, and both of us were born and raised in Taiwan and then moved to the U.S. So when the opportunity rise for us to do something that's actually simple but hopefully impactful, at this time where suddenly the world is paying more attention to Taiwan, we kind of jumped at it. And it was in partnership with a Taiwanese production company here called CNEX that both of us have been involved in. And you know, I had been to Jimen for only the very first time quite recently in 2020. And just the visuals, the architecture, the history that was there, that we were able to capture. We thought that it was kind of the perfect place to tell this really complicated history about Taiwan and China through those visual reminders that you see in the film.
You do anything to add?
Yes, actually, for years, we want to tell stories from Taiwan. And when Leo went to Kinmen, and right away, Kinmen's for me was like the first memory of when I witnessed my grandma cry. Because I remember I was 8 years old in Taiwan, and my grandma received a phone call from my uncle who got picked, the lottery to go serve the military service in Kinmen. And at that time, she just think he was gonna die. Like in the film, when Leo's grandma cried uncontrollably when Leo's father got picked to go to Kinmen. So that was my first memory of Kinmen. And then when I saw Leo's beautiful footage of this lone tank on the beach, I said, wow, it's such a scar memory, but also so current in terms of all the identities story. That's I'm an immigrant in America, and my family, they were the refugees from mainland to Taiwan, just and then what it means, like where Taiwan is today and the future during this really difficult time. I've said a difficult time. Yeah. So it's all that.
Was there any pushback to people who didn't want to get the film made?
We didn't encounter that. I mean, Taiwan, there's actually quite, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of press. It's very well protected. So there wasn't anybody who was pushing back. Although now, as we got nominated, we did find out that on a lot of the Chinese announcements, our names of our film, name of our film, and our names were left out. So there's actually, some pushback in that way, which doesn't surprise us. Even though we really think that our film is actually quite reconciliatory, it's really about peace. It's really about understanding and really kind of digging into the complexity of these situations. It's unfortunate that some folks there still think that this is a problematic situation for them. So we hope that
And
the people don't think that way.
instead of pushback, actually, just yesterday, I had lunch with Ang Lee, the director, and his producer, David Lee, who actually served in 1980 in Kingman. And he said, you guys, you just touched the surface. There's so much more story and he's still telling me all this story. It was unbelievable. Like they will walk around the island at midnight to really, Kingman at the time it's the protection of the whole Taiwan island. So, they have whole army and they just walk around surveillance all night long until morning. So I just got that story yesterday, literally. they say you gotta go forward.
Have you received any other surprising reactions, and has any of that depended on where you're showing the film and what audience?
We were getting interesting, it made me feel good to kind of get feedback from like, I think we got some messages from some Korean folks, actually also one from a Cuban in America, like Cuban exile in Miami, who, all of them say, well, this is not our story, but it's our story. This is exactly what our country have experienced. So, I mean, that's what we hope to do, right, with this film, is to have this international cross-cultural resonance, sort of a closer examination about all these borders and conflicts and the struggle that we all went through kind of living in this situation. So yeah, I mean, even though I wouldn't say they're surprises, but they're really sort of great feedback to have gotten.
Anything from you?
Um, you know, everybody just like they're so at awe at this what they saw. And people who doesn't know anything about it, actually today, somebody say, I want to go see a Teresa Tang's concert. The speaker. I say, well, she died 30 years ago, but the story is just amazing. The little pieces, stories.
Well, thank you both for making this film. For anyone who hasn't seen it, you can watch it on YouTube via the New York Times Op Docs. Thank you again, both of you, and good luck at the Oscars.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hey.